Yeah, Ghana for your better chill bibia na yeah me mamu. I had the yanopa intina like say good morning na Ghana the we are intina na yeah mama ha good afternoon to everybody. You're welcome to the program. You're welcome to the channel. That is channel 22. Na and said that na umani abowrum near try life back kakra. Na yeah sorry ya assembly at that platform so me say yanka enye ye yanka enye ye yamfa ya no antom bi expose amanfo a enye ye se obi anim enem kwan se meka efa Ghana ye economic situation a ye wom wiase nyina covid-19 ban wiase bebia obi ahofa no na ye beba ha no na ye president ye na Nado Danko Akufo-Addo odi kan ka kire Ghana for se yinimu se ade a meyi ade aho kire beba the economic turmoil ebeba ye ho ba kire ba ye nimu kwan a ye befa so ebe den ye be ye ho afrim economically ba so bi wu a ana obi hwere ne nkwa aye me na Nado Danko Akufo-Addo ana nipa bi wu wiase bi ana we don't know how to bring the person back to life into o maye tiase se insu amede mamu light amodam free aduane a mechi covid-19 ne ma miye amanfo modum go hotel nyina no minimum kwan a mefa so asan the economy na back because kaya me send Ghana for hu agemo nkwan economy no ebe crash na manhwa save nipa na se nipa wu a minim sa tumi no ewuwu so se me de nipa beden ebe san back anoka kire ane eti ase meaning say de na oye ni nyina na onum de ebesie ampa de okan ne so abam Ghana ukobe bia ahon kire wo se de wiase be bia okwa ahon kire wo the same thing everywhere na ehihye ba ko a President Akufo-Addo na bandi agumu se eka a odede ne ho no asoman no ye be den ye be try say den ye be twentwe ye kaso kakra se de be ya ye benya sika afri IMF na ye dey support ye economy no NDC for sorry ya kum omatikwa pai anenye ana munyina munim de omo kafa ho enu kwa se mesan akeka biem atwetwema so na no pa yeda sorry ya channel yen kote nani a ene de John Mahama san ko gina apaso John Mahama
strongest
found gina apaso e wa bruchimem oni animdifo eni etitriu eni wiase edi nkomo about Ghana economy na sa de bia oye na the rhetorics na keka niema history na Ghana yesi o mo na obi okeka ne nsem nyina wie egu Ghana ni mu ase ana mo busa na se ojo na wankasa no wankasa ugina hoyi senye president na ulusu ye ana president na wonya intikasa emri anka den na obeye ka debt restructuring aban eye no obe ofa so ana oni hwi kanti no o se debt restructuring ne de enye se me oppose you na so am say enye NDC for ya na mugu platform so insight Ghana for Ghana for catch Ghana for say abanye wicked abanye nye MPP abanye na Nado you dini we say ukudwa bochime mu dia na wo ka no kre we the first time the last time be okwa brochi the same thing na Mahama koye okoka no kre wa brochiri obape na obedi ntro a Ghana for omu Ghana for honestly onye leader omu Ghana for oni boss oni vision oni aim oni bibia dey dey answer person di president no obeye the opeso oye the opeso oye ne the oye ne the oba oye bi mamu amu huye because this is the critical moment as an opposition party aka akonya na beda ma mo say mo befa owuo ho mo befa bro nya ho awe akoko enti mo de movement system ntimi nya kwa anka monka eno kran so wo mo ntimi o Or the Ghana for, I will not bore you too much. Young corner, young kuti questioner, your friend is a ubi ebisa no. Ebra your man akwenya se o mampeni no. O kasa wiye no. Yama amafon so busa question. Now the first and foremost question, I had a Ghana journalist muntie. Ghana journalist, they be a mugumu woni mu ase, by a can. Omofin so mwani organ. Hwe, in every economic situation biano, opposition party betena or in every case biano. So opposition party betena woni mu. The first and topmost question I saw jotting it down and they said your alternative. What will you have done differently? What would you have done differently? At the end, I can't be any strong. Ah, the autism ye. Because I don't hear so to about. I don't hear so as a samba. So what I say, I don't hear so at the twaba. And the obetna when you be criticized, and who besides now who solution again because the autism they will nim ana or no. So often say no nya. You tell us what you're going to do differently. Ghana for what my entire na yenti de Mahama Ebeka. I hope with audio no audible ma obia atibi. Let me try this. I think say me waha. So as obia so ati. And let me see if be audible am obia. Oh, the thing is on mute. Okay. Yeah, I think so. Be audible Mahama obia tibi. Apparently na ebusa question no. That obruni no obusa question we no. Waba Canada or no a high commissioner. Let's take it back. Let's take it back and let me see.
I'm sure you want to look your best. I think I need to go to someone I do know who is a friend of
Ghana for Muntie question na papa no busa no. Three questions and about at the same time. 3 questions. Live, the Owo now know on your program busai. And 2 other people, SNA, online, the same question at the same time. And that was the first question after Mahama Kasawina.
Ghana, and his hand is just there. He's got a scarf on. It's not a Ghanaian scarf, but it is nevertheless a Ghana, you know. And please do introduce yourself.
Thank you. Nick Westcott, former High Commissioner to Ghana, now Director of the Royal African Society. Your Excellency, I'm sorry I didn't bring the Ghanaian scarf. I should have brought my smock. But thank you very much for a very stimulating talk. As you say, investors are hesitating at the moment to come to Ghana. The economic situation is difficult. And I noticed you were critical of the proposals to restructure domestic debt. But nevertheless, it's a real problem. And investors will be looking at what your solution is to this domestic debt. In fact, and the international, you mentioned some solutions to the international, but the domestic debt is particularly difficult. And do you think that the proposal for a Ghana compact to re-establish the sort of some economic consensus around the way forward is going to be part of that solution? Thank you very much.
Ghana for asema papa yibu say simple. I say, matese ono wamenyoku muye against onu wamenyoku muye against the debt restructuring. And then the bondholders we na de no. Yeah. Na ona ujina hono. Unu say investors hesitate say omeden ombeba Ghana adiom sika beshe money because of economic situation na you no, which will be any we are not going to run away from it. Inti wo na ujina ho sisi awe John Mahama no. Wo solution pa anything. Whether we are senti papa ni bi
to come to Ghana. The economic situation is difficult. And I noticed you go.
I'll say the economic situation Ghana no difficult.
You were critical of the proposals to restructure domestic debt.
And all I say, John Mahama ujina hui. Now you're very critical about the debt restructuring in Ghana for Ede. Abain eye said ubinya akonya enye sika every amanono.
But nevertheless, it's a real problem, and investors will be looking at what your solution is.
I see a real problem. Investors, John Mahama, our pride as an alternative to be the president. All solution, our any day as against the debt restructuring. John Mahama no woman yuku. Solution any day
To this domestic debt, in fact, and the international. You mentioned some solutions, the international, but the domestic debt is particularly difficult. And do you think that the proposal for a Ghana compact to re-establish the sort of some economic consensus around the way forward is going to be part of that solution? Thank you very much.
Thank you. So I've got two fairly similar questions online. I'm going to do those. We're going to have plenty of time.
So, we pe and a host in say, me wo question abusa ye me wo similar one, any nyina ye pe, SSA a pe. The same question. At the mount, it's my member boss answer no one answer. Mumenti.
Yes, and we'll overrun just a little bit also. So somebody who you do know, Excellency, Patrick Smith is from Africa Confidential, Africa Report, is asking, what more do you think the G20, IMF and World Bank could do to expedite debt relief and fresh investment in Africa? So not just Ghana. And then Roland Taylor has also been saying, well, if you'd not lost that election and had been president, what would you have done differently related to the economy? So let's take the...
Swati. I say one lusu abana 2020 and a war president John Mahama. CCA antika war no ankadien na obeye. Munti question you. First one the busa na say the alternative solution, the solution ni de wahi. Third one also, second one was similar. Third one the or can pay or say one lusu election and our president Mahama antika war no kadien na obeye.
Those three, and then the next round will focus on this room for questions. Please go ahead.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Alex, I think I'll just stand here.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, sir. Answer
thank you very much. Nick, good to see you again.
And
thanks.
Answer, and I feel good to see you near you again. Answer the question. Dear na obey, Muminti the Obeka. But shock him up.
For your question, we worked quite closely together during your period in Ghana.
Answer question and a jai period in Ghana and Yan Ubi answer the question.
Patrick, thanks for your question on G20 relief and what would we have done differently. These are the three questions. I'm not opposed to debt restructuring. Debt restructuring is a condition precedent to getting an IMF program.
I say I am not opposed to debt restructuring. And to see I didn't know just share my own. The be ya mokase a leaders na enye. I more before an kasa musumayon. I am monsus musubai. Anko kan ye ya or kan ye nako si Ghana ya namudi mume eshiano. Say na wo bi aye bra ye sika ne ye mfaso ye postpone no would now say ka wo aka same thing now be because all Ghana for musa no Ghana journalists for ye musa and once I took question na man aban say oye debt restriction na wo opposition now obi opa ban mu aba opposition ukobusa na say aban ye wi obeka say ane mema na ye there be tofe kura na ode she Ghana for no mu kura obeka say there be enye. The best question you ask an opposition leader is, what are your alternatives? What are your alternatives? So what I say, what are your alternatives? Bakontompo, Nambraba, and Ada, and a Ghana for moto, and they be no one ever told Mamosa. Do obey in the yams obey Ghana ye no. Now, more sense, some ye too, son of my dear President Kufuor. That's the same thing you did to President Kufuor. Moment, Obeka, Munti Mahama. Muntie no. Muntie.
Alex, I think I'll just stand here.
Yeah.
So, thank you very much. Nick, good to see you again. And thanks for your question. We worked quite closely together during your period in Ghana. And Patrick, thanks for your question on G20 relief and what would we have done differently. These are the three questions. I'm not opposed to debt restructuring. Debt restructuring is a condition precedent to get in an IMF program. And Ghana needs to do a debt restructuring to be able to go into a program.
Atiefo, somebody. Or say, oh, debt restructuring, no, a prerequisite. Prerequisite, just a idea, say, oh, yeah, answer the when you BB. And now, oh, yeah, answer the BBSC. So what I say? I say, you primary school, na yes, I say, we jari answer no work school. So what I say? And I say, we did answer no work school. Requisite, prerequisite, a idea, a share, say, oh, yeah, answer na BBSC. So what I say? It's Mahama catch Ghana for say that debt restructuring na e ade ye ansa na IMF for na den omo sika na den ama ne de ahye ye Ghana economy ni mu no. Enti Ghana for it's a wunimu sei a wo ye aban a obi a opa ban mu aba ana wasora gina aban ko so insert Ghana for say momo nye enti omo nya ne ye lusu IMF sika no na economy ni mu den na magire no so ato abama no ba ono ankasa wo gina ho de nyansa efe ni nyansa na adwene mu do a ye de solution to solve economic problem de oni bi one say do see Yebusa John Mahama about his alternative no John Mahama was not able to provide anything but all hangi wo your friend say the MPP for na wa criticizing no but say ono be ma solution say oh anka ya me John Mahama dia oh kame B me nye debt restructuring me B unsa wa answer question oni bi John Mahama ni bi John Mahama only message John Mahama only be NDC they don't have anything the only thing I say they will hop onto what the government is doing and criticize it but when you ask them a critical question about a DNA obeya John Mahama ni bi John Mahama ni bi eti debt restructuring na koso no John Mahama support but all pa ba mu aba no obeka se enye mi wa ono ani muton ano gina paso kan enye mi na meka John Mahama ni gina paso ka se ono can and the same thing obeye.
I'm not opposed to debt restructuring. Debt restructuring is a condition precedent to get in an IMF program. And Ghana needs to do a debt restructuring.
So what? Marty, Ghana needs to do it. And when you say Ghana has had no, niya koji says Ghana Ghana economy ni mo. Why are you and your people against it back home in Ghana? Sure. The MI bedu and say e-levy was something like a preventing you from going to the IMF because e-levy and na investors never say economy ni ayedin ma yusu musika nyina ekwan be so na Ghana ban investors they look at aban o enye individual because Ghana sika wo individual wo sika pa individual wo sika e ya ban ni eni sika because ye ntime ye taxes ye o ba America krom ha oko UK e ya ban ni wo sika anytime aban bia eni sika no or man bread because aban is the biggest spender in every nation. Eti John Mahama unim say Ghana for ehia de we ana wonu waban ono wonkrofo mobotugu no you did the same thing to e-levy because e-levy pass ya ana manya do asafo Jezebel oba kaire bombom and free parliament and ke pass e-levy no ana e-levy na so city crown and we could have gone back to the world market and go for loan either bond or something because that year Kenoforiata didn't go because na on pesa Ghana ye kabedosun it was ye obeji jisika wo ye mamu ane da boy ho brent ko IMF ye e-levy beba nya jisika na that was what investors were looking at for investors who say o mine no ana aban timi jisika they are confident say omusika omodi aban aban betua so investors who say aban nya sika emma aban foto ma then they hesitate either they will take their money and leave the country. So NDC Elevi ho bo elevi ho poama elevi basa eno ana yentimi anko the world market anko pe bond dollars amesoketi Ghana economy ana omani jiguye ana yako IMF yako IMF no mam I say yensanya die ABCD no mo fa sika na maya NDC for ne John Mahama ahuri agina pase enye ene ogina ha kana ni mu asem ne Ghana for moma yesu enyansa ho de bia mo se politicians and the yusumo omakawe de obenka no kra kire mo no ya muntie John Mahama ene ogina paso ka kire mo se John Mahama gina paso ka kire Ghana for say ono de debt restructuring no obeye enye me na make on John Mahama o say that debt restructuring no ono a obeye onya against moma yentie de so oya de entia also oya against odamumenti
dialogue and consultation. Thanks for your question. We worked quite closely together during your period in Ghana. And Patrick, thanks for your question on G20 relief and what would we have done differently. These are the three questions. I'm not opposed to debt restructuring. Debt restructuring is a condition precedent to getting an IMF program. And Ghana needs to do a debt restructuring to be able to go into a program. What has been the contention is a lack of dialogue and consultation with the debt holder.
Oh God. John Mahama often say ye Ghana for ye ni adwin da yitremu. Be say ode online but dialogue consultation and no one John Mahama solution to everything on this planet. John Mahama fin say consultation any and John Mahama solution. It's almost the dreaming answer pie the boy my only view. Everything is hinged on consultation. T. Me say over the previous video about John Mahama, it's all about consultation.
Your period in Ghana. And Patrick, thanks for your question on G20 relief and what would we have done differently. These are the three questions. I'm not opposed to debt restructuring.
Just say they are buying or oppose you.
Debt restructuring is a condition precedent to getting an IMF.
Or say a na IMF edisi ba na Ghana economy na stable. Inti adentina John Mahama unimu sa na Ghana for ho chire wo mra ban de ese wo ya aka wo so aka the same thing na ba adentina wo oppose mumyenti
program. And Ghana needs to do a debt restructuring.
Or say Ghana enhyese ye ade ye hia ese ye
to be able to go into a program. What has been the contention is a lack of dialogue and consultation with the debt holders on the domestic side. I know currently negotiations are taking place with the bondholders on the external side. Not the same treatment with domestic bondholders. Government feels it can just ride roughshod.
Oh. Man, we offended John Mahama na all power by Mwabano. You busa a simple question. You see into your what and Kadien na obey debt restructuring. Because John Mahama only any alternative in solving Ghana the economic crisis whether COVID or no COVID only because man wababa muda and yebusa will say a DNA now be differently. You are going back to the abine and I say oh abino mean against the debt restructuring and canwana may that has been his style. Ubusa said then abaya or say media card abane and anka against you name manka may say eba free such ubusa say free such as a ya na nya or say free such ye na say review ben abaya John Mahama ntimi nkasa ontimi nkasa on review now I say and say ke consultation and I say we say everything about Ghanaian economic solution bia when you ask John Mahama it's all about consultation. Why are you a fetish priest for us to come and consult you to talk to? It's all about consultation. Everything about John Mahama is consultation. And so, party man and saying, hey, Muyi minority leader, every parliament MP, as the agent said, man consult to him. This is John Mahama talking. This is the guy, the Abambe ye bianye, and so Busada say, a dear now been differently as a consultation. John Mahama can never say the Abane any new name consultation. We are now we're jumping to corruption and I'm discuss and this is the guy who Baumia and Busada said, what will you do different? Baumia will itemize what they have on their list for you to even criticize it. John Mahama only be beer or the beba because you're one a hollow. So John Mahama fear criticisms more than anybody. That is why John Mahama cannot put whatever he's going to do in front of Ghanaian public for us to criticize it. John Mahama hates criticisms. John Mahama is empty. John Mahama has nothing for this country called Ghana. All he needs is to become president and do whatever he wants to do and leave power. This is the critical moment in every nation's life. This is the critical moment for government and opposition, for you to come out and tell us, say, I will do A, B, C, D. I will do A, B, C, D in solving your problem. When Nanado and Baumia, they were in opposition, they told us that they would do free education. When it came up, said, what are you going to do, Nanado and Baumia, in solving the high unemployment rate in Ghana? They said, I will do A, B, C, D. One of the things that they propose is, we need to industrialize our country. Okay. And secondly, we need to also educate the people. Whilst we are educating the people, we are creating more jobs awaiting them. And the Omu school now, at that time, the one district, one factory, now I full-fledged. Not companies na any route. Now I employ, I absorb a graduate, I absorb Omu into that sector. It's here for free SHS Emra. And the free SHS buy. We need to educate the people for them to be employable. Secondly, when they are employable, it means there must be a job for them to do. And almost say one district, one factory. These are the two solutions in solving what the Ghanaian high unemployment rate in Ghana. That these were the proposition of the then opposition leaders. When they asked John Mahama what you are going to do, the opposition and the abane Obeka to say what would you do differently?
Over them. So one fine Sunday night, we're all relaxed at home, and then we had the finance minister, address the debt restructuring and
Obi the president now. It's about when I'm also a communication expert also then. One Sunday morning, fine Sunday morning. How can it be a Sunday morning when the economy is in turmoil? Oh, the fine Sunday morning, man. One Sunday morning, we were sitting down and we hear the finance minister saying, blah, blah. Massa. Oh, go Ghana anymore, I say. Oh, go Ghana anymore. Yabusa, straightforward question. What would you have done differently? Oh, me, I come in debt restructuring. Ebia, me, I will look at how to mobilize, internally generate funds in Ghana by widening the tax net. How are you going to widen the tax net? By digitalizing the economy. So every economic transaction, the government will be in the know, the IRS will go and get money. That will bring money into the government chest. And after that, we'll be able to pay workers and pay our debt and all those things. What do you mean, Kabi? John Mahama and Timin can we be you? John Mahama on Timin can we be? Name Obeka what Busan say, a dear now benny differently. Now what say, made the Abane and made the same thing. Name Kameni saying this. I mean. Ghana for you. Just listen.
I'm not opposed to debt restructuring. Debt restructuring is a condition precedent to getting an IMF program. And Ghana needs to do a debt restructuring to be able to go into a program. What has been the contention is a lack of that. dialogue and
Yeah, Ghana for Mofa Mohadjomati. Akufo-Addo ka kyerɛ mo sɛ ɔman ne mu bɛyɛ den. Ɔma mo nsuo free ɔka kyerɛ mo. Moda light mu free ɔka kyerɛ mo. Deɛ na ɔyɛ biara ɔde mo to hotel, amanfo ambulance ɛfa mo kɔ hospital ɛsolve mo COVID issue. Yɛde nurses fo gu abɔnten, sojafoɔ gu abɔnten. Ne nyinaa yɛ ka a ɛba Ghana fo so a ɛsɛ yɛtua. Port ɔhɔ na yɛdi sika paa free. Ɛyɛ airport, Tema Port, Takoradi Port. Ɔhɔ na Ghana yɛnyi sika free paa. COVID time no, saa hɔ nyinaa yɛ dead. Ɔmo a mo yɛ adwuma hɔ nyinaa hu. Because container deɛ nhyepe bi ma ana aban nya ne sika. Nti aban nya sika. Nti sika a World Bank ne other banks de ma ɛno ana Ghana yɛdi ya ekosi sɛ COVID na no brase. Monya ahyɛmu ɛwɔ this current government mu. Na mudi NDC anu akyi a NDC anu akyi a mubedi mu dokonkwa. It happened at the time President Kufuor ɛwɔ aban mu. Omo yedede sa omo bae economy na eden anye ye. Na so President Kufuor de yesi a better footing in terms of our economy. NDC for bae omo free so no. Masa na economy na agija. Dum so kwa ni yenye sika emfanto petrol empower your plant. Rather, John Mahama and the NDC Chronics make a whole bunch of money. As I'm talking to you, they are making billions of money out of Dumso. Dumso ni see na omo kosen agreement baby they still make money out of it. They still make money out of it. Fucking contract omo kosen sign, they are making money out of it. And then omo di omo political party and it no menya no ejina okasa no. Ghana for me say mo nwene mo ho. Mo hwe obi obema mo hye pa. And then Obi said John Mahama. Simple question about what would you have done differently? Look at what John Mahama is saying.
in the contention is a lack of dialogue and
if the thing is about the lack of dialogue, why don't you say, oh, Ghana for Adena Abaye na ye me mo kono kasa. Ni ehun say wo de ka Ghana for be kasa. But you jump on air, you are parachikisi and whatever, jump on air and they say blah 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 and yeah. Meanwhile, you know the thing is good.
Consultation with the debt holders on the domestic side. I know currently negotiations are taking place with the bondholders on the external side. Not the same treatment with domestic bondholders. Government feels it can just ride roughshod over them. So one fine Sunday night, we're all relaxed at home.
Yeah, Ghana from the embassy and video na online. Obi ankohwe na muntie nsema John Mahama kan. John Mahama has no solution. He has no alternative for the Ghanaian people. Into Ghana for more. Why?